The Streamline conference was actually one of the best of the um, non-trade, non professional society uh, meetings I've been to in a while. Long list of names were there. As a matter of fact, a lot of us have not been in the same room in a decade in a few cases. So it was quite interesting. We had a lot of like-minded folks where we weren't there to sell stuff. We were there to educate because, yeah, there's always a commercial aspect to everything. But I was long ago taught educate, don't sell. In that circumstance, there's a time for sales and marketing, and there's a time for getting up and educating the customer in your new ideas, capabilities, things like that. You don't have to go down and turn it into a timeshare sales bullshit, right? So um, the team there was outstanding. In any case, the team consisted or was led by Alex Bolin. Great conference. He promised it would be non-commercial, enticed me into going there, along with Greg Christensen of CMMS Radio. Sorry, I've paused a few times so far because I'm tripping over my own tongue today. I just got back 2 days ago from this, and I drove there. It's Chicago to Greenville, South Carolina, is about 12 hours. I will say I've complained about some of the electronics in this truck uh, before, and some of the things that are going, kind of awkward in it. But I will say that it literally saved my life a couple of times. Other drivers, like a truck in the right hand side, and I'm driving along, and I'm halfway along it, and it just switches lanes. I was looking for the video because the other thing is these new vehicles have 360-degree continuous streaming video into a card inside the vehicle. So I should have pulled it out right then to grab it, but tried searching for it a little later because when after that occurred and I went off the road to avoid him. I got back on. He just carried on as if nothing happened. I found out why when I got up to him. He had a big phone, like one of these that cover the whole side of your face, on the left hand side. So he wasn't even looking at his mirror out the side. And I caught that one as well. So I'm going to be looking for that video footage later. But that wasn't the only instance like that I had. It's getting quite treacherous on the roads, we'll put it that way. And I'm not a shy driver. I'm a very cautious driver. I pay attention. I do not talk on the phone. I don't answer email, and I don't do texts. I have all that built into the vehicle. I did try the AI version, and I'm going way off topic here, but I did do the AI version, and then had to shut it off because I saw some of the answers it was sending back, and they did not resemble reality. And then another time I allowed it to summarize through AI texts and emails I was receiving, and the information I was getting didn't resemble reality at all. So, the usual AI stuff. It would be great if it worked. Actually, it's kind of funny because the previous versions worked that were not considered AI, but neither here nor there. So, getting back to the conference. So got to sit in one room and went through a track that was quite interesting. We had a couple of good keynotes, including Bob Latino, of course, who kicked the whole thing off. And it was perfect because we were all able to tie our presentations back into it. George Williams, of course, with Reliability X. Greg Christensen was doing interviews the whole time. I didn't, unfortunately, get a chance to do that because I was actually sitting back just really enjoying all the presentations for the first time in a while. I mean, you see me at some conferences, I'm hanging around on the show floor because really I've seen the sales presentations over and over and over again at a lot of these places. So Greg Christensen and CMMS Radio did a great job there. Um, Andy Gager, uh, great presentation, great presentation. Trent McJunkin, of course, always phenomenal. Our tried and true, um, uh, end user. Basically, he's a practitioner who is allowed to go to these, and he's got a tremendous amount of experience and has actually been doing what everybody's been talking about. So I get to give him that moniker too. Um, so, anyways, Sean Eisenhower was there. I didn't get to see his workshop on the last day, but we did chat a lot. Great guy, doing a lot for the industry. Joel Levitt, that was just fantastic. As a matter of fact, when I get into one of the ways of going in and starting out your program and getting people engaged and being able to show what you do, uh, that is something the DOE did, but his whole presentation was about that. Just do small bite projects, cleaning up benches or taking on a sore spot, things like that. Phenomenal, phenomenal stuff. Great comic books. Um, Jeff Shiver, of course, finally got to sit through one of his planning presentations. Haven't in a very, very, very long time. Um, and it was great because a question had come up. Well, what about your methodology versus this person and this person? And you know, it comes down to the concepts they have are similar. Some are the approaches are a little different, but the point is, that like the thought of overscheduling a day, which falls under somebody else, and so on. 100% of the day, and so on and so on. It depends on what your KPI are, really. Um, you know, uh, and then of course I refer to them as the newer generation because they're starting to show up at a lot of these conferences. I've been talking to them now. New generation, means that we've been chatting for several years now, and been doing a lot together, primarily since 2020. So I kind of look at a dividing line, pre 2020 and post 2020. So, or yeah, I think we're what in 6 AC or after COVID. But Brian Bieschi and Matt Knuth, phenomenal guys, really into everything. Brian, of course, another Navy carrier sailor. We've been talking a fair amount on a lot of things, including our experiences. Now, it was funny because some of us let out a few oopses in our talk. Different language that you might not consider overly polite, but Brian and I were good at that, I guess. Sorry, but it happens. Um, and we started this thing when one of us would do that, the other one would go Navy. But I think we had a whole group doing it. But in any case, great stuff. I mean, really, I'm going to take my presentation. I think Jeff referred back to it about a technical presentation, and I had to let him know afterwards. No, this was actually a presentation I hadn't really done in about 20 years. Back when I was doing the C-level consulting stuff, and just found that playing with the tools on closer to the floor while also interacting with C-suite is a little more fun for me. So, inventing things, coming up with solutions to make it easier for the end user, that's my thing. Solving problems, right? Um, I can do really well at the other stuff, and I did. I won awards over it. But what I did is I talked about how to, um, select CBM and proper frequencies and so on and so on. And I'm going to take the presentation I did because I was updating a presentation I think I did last in 2008 and uh, clean it up a little bit. I had added AI related technologies and so on. A lot of stuff. It was very technology agnostic. It was how to select it and best approaches so that you have evidence based reasons for doing it. And uh, I'm going to end up probably next couple of weeks, do a live recording. It might have to be on a weekend. We'll see. Depends on travel. A lot of travel. I went from slow year last year with right around 40 weeks on the road. It's looking like it's going to be back in that 46 range again. So in any case, yeah, those I may be leaving a few folks out. I know I'm leaving out a lot of the attendees. It was phenomenal. Not a huge crowd, just large enough, and of the people that wanted to interact. It was primarily an EAM conference, but I would say I had somewhere between 30 and 40 people in my presentation. Um, uh, there were several that had more because it tied more to EAM. And then it also depended on what the two other tracks were, which were primarily EAM and CMMS related. So in any case, phenomenal conference. Would I do it again? Absolutely. If they keep that direction, fantastic. Most of our industry could probably learn from what they did. Let's put it this way. When I go to a lot of the conferences and I see the marketing guys get up speaking, I'm not thinking of them as the legends of the industry. I was with the legends of the industry. So with that, yeah, fantastic. Now,